She sold it on a Wednesday. Not because Wednesday was the right day. There was no right day for a thing like this. But because Wednesday was when she ran out of other options, which was what made it Wednesday. Her name was Faye Dodd. She was 28 years old, a widow of 4 months, and she had 2 children who were hungry in the specific persistent way of children, who had been not quite enough fed for long enough that hunger had become their baseline, and she was not willing to let that continue. The ring was gold, plain band, with a small engraved leaf on the inside that her husband Owen had chosen because he said she reminded him of growing things. She had held the ring in her hand the night before and looked at it for a long time, at the leaf she knew by touch, at the 11 years of marriage it represented, and she had thought, Owen would tell me to sell it. He would say it's a circle of metal and what it means doesn't live in it. She believed this. She also believed that selling it was going to cost her something she would not get back. Both things were true, and neither one changed the arithmetic. She went to the jeweler in town on Wednesday morning with the ring in her coat pocket and her children at school because she was not going to let them watch this. If you've ever had to let go of something sacred to hold on to something necessary, stay with me to the end of this story. Hit that like button and drop your city in the comments. I want to see how far this one travels. Owen Dodd had died in June. Not dramatically. Nothing about Owen was dramatic, which had been one of the things she loved most about him. He had been a farmer and a steady man, and he had died of a heart that had been working against itself for 2 years, in ways the doctor had told them about, and that they had both been trying to manage, and that had decided one morning in June that it was done. He had been 40. It was too young, and she knew it was too young, and she was not going to pretend otherwise. What he left, the farm, 80 acres of good Kansas land, 2 children, Ben, who was 9, and Clara, who was 7, a barn that was sound, a house that needed the roof looked at, cattle that needed selling in the fall, accounts that she had been keeping alongside him for 11 years and understood completely. What he had also left, in the way that good men sometimes left things without meaning to, a debt on the farm equipment that came due in November, which was now December, which meant it was overdue, and which the equipment company's representative had come about twice in the last month with the specific impatient manner of someone who was done being patient. She had sold the cattle in October for less than she'd hoped because October was not the right month, but October was when she needed the money. She had paid the house insurance and the school supplies and the winter coal, and what was left was not enough for the equipment debt and also December, which was coming regardless of the equipment debt. The ring was $18. $18 did not solve the equipment debt. It solved December. She made the calculation, and it was the right calculation, and she went to the jeweler on Wednesday morning. The jeweler's name was Halpert. He was a small man of 50, with the specific precision of someone who had spent 30 years evaluating small, valuable things and had developed an expression that was professional in both directions, not warmly enthusiastic when something was worth more than expected, not visibly sorry when it was worth less. He looked at the ring. He weighed it. He examined the engraving. He said, $14. She said, "It's 18-karat gold." He said, "14 is the market." She looked at him. She said, 16. He held the ring. He said, 15. She said, "Done." She walked out with $15 and the specific lightness of someone who has set down something heavy and is not yet sure whether it was the right thing. She bought flour and salt pork and dried beans and a small paper cone of the peppermint candy that Ben and Clara had been eyeing at the general store since September. She went home. She made supper. She did not tell the children about the ring. She found out who had bought it 3 days later. She was at the supply store. She had come for lamp oil, and Mrs. Halpert, who ran the store side of the jewelers while her husband ran the jewelry side, said without particular ceremony, "Your ring sold this morning." Man came in and paid Halpert's asking price without negotiating. Faye held the lamp oil. "I didn't know it was on display," she said. "Halpert put it in the case yesterday," Mrs. Halpert said. "Marked it $18. Man came in this morning and paid it without a word." "Who?" Faye said. "Callum Ware," Mrs. Halpert said. "Has the property on the North Road. Been here about 2 years. Good man," Halpert says. Faye paid for the lamp oil. She went home. She stood in the kitchen and she thought about a ring with a leaf on the inside that a stranger had now paid $18 for. She thought about Owen choosing the leaf because she reminded him of growing things. She thought about $15 and a cone of peppermint candy. She thought about nothing in particular for a while. Then she made supper. She was not going to do anything about it. That was her position for the first day. A man had bought a ring from a jeweler. That was a thing that happened. She had sold it. She had no claim on it. She was not going to knock on a stranger's door and ask him why he'd bought her wedding ring. Her position held for approximately 36 hours. Then Clara asked about the ring. She had been hoping Clara wouldn't notice. Clara noticed everything. She had Owen's habit of seeing things, the specific attention of a child who registered the small changes in the world around her and filed them. "Mama," Clara said at breakfast on Friday, "where's your ring?" Faye held her coffee. "I took it off," she said. "Why?" Clara said. "The cold was making my hands swell," she said. Clara looked at her with Owen's eyes and said nothing, which meant she did not believe this and had decided not to say so. That evening, Ben asked if they were going to be all right, and she said yes, and he said, "How do you know?" And she said, "Because I'm going to make sure of it." He went to bed. She sat at the table. She thought about the ring and about Callum Ware on the North Road, and about whether it was the kind of thing that could be addressed directly, or whether she needed to pretend it hadn't happened. She was a woman who addressed things directly. She went on Saturday. The North Road property was 4 miles out. She drove the wagon because she was not going to show up on foot at a stranger's door. That would communicate a desperation she was not going to communicate. And she arrived mid-morning on a Saturday when the sky was the flat gray of December in Kansas that couldn't decide whether to snow. The farm was a working spread of reasonable size. She could see from the road that it was maintained by someone who understood what a farm required. The fence lines were sound, the barn was in good condition, the wood was stacked correctly. She drove through the gate. A man came out of the barn. He looked at her with the specific, alert attention of someone who was not expecting company and was assessing whether the company was good or bad news. She stepped down from the wagon. He was perhaps 35, tall, working lean, the kind of face that was not handsome by convention, but had the quality she associated with people she trusted, which was that what she saw was what was there. "Mrs. Dodd," he said. She stopped. "You know me," she said. "By sight," he said. "I knew your husband. We spoke at the market in August." She looked at him. "Then you knew the ring," she said. He held her gaze. "Yes," he said. "Why?" she said. She said it without preamble, because preamble was not what she was here for. He was quiet for a moment. "Come in," he said. "I'll make coffee." She came in. The kitchen was the kitchen of a man who ran a farm alone, functional, clean, without the particular touches that made a house feel like someone was living in it rather than occupying it. He made coffee. He sat across from her. He held his cup. I saw the ring in Halpert's case on Thursday. He said, I recognized it because I'd seen it on your hand at the market. You and Owen were at the grain stall. You were looking at winter wheat prices. She held her coffee. You remembered my ring from August. She said, I remembered Owen. He said, he died in June. I'd heard about it, and I saw the ring in the case, and I understood what had happened, and He stopped. You bought it. She said, yes. He said, why? She said, he held his coffee. Because I didn't want it to go somewhere else. He said, that's the honest answer. She looked at him. Where did you want it to go? She said. He looked at the table. I want to say something. He said, and I want to say it plainly, and I want you to know that whatever you say back, you can walk out that door, and I won't think less of you for it. Say it. She said. He held the cup. I've known who you were for 2 years. He said. Not in the way of knowing, we'd never met properly, but I'd seen you at the market and at the supply store, and once on the road in the spring when you had the children with you, and I had the impression, from a distance, of someone who was very capable and very present. She held her cup. Owen dying was a wrong thing. He said, he was a good man, and 40 is too young, and you were left with 2 children, and a farm, and a debt, and a winter, and that's too much to be left with. I'm managing, she said. I know you are. He said, I'm not saying you aren't. Then what are you saying? She said. He looked at her steadily. I'm saying that I bought the ring because I knew it was yours, and I didn't want it to be a stranger's. He said, and I'm saying that I've been sitting with it for 3 days trying to work out whether what I want to do with it is the right thing or the wrong thing. She looked at him. What do you want to do with it? She said. He reached into his coat pocket. He put the ring on the table between them. She looked at it. The plain gold band. The engraved leaf, Owen's choice. I want to give it back, he said, but not the way you're thinking. She held very still. I know it's too soon, he said. I know 4 months is not enough time, and I know you haven't eaten a meal without calculating the cost of it, and I know that what I'm about to say is going to sound like something it isn't, so I'm going to be very specific about what it is. Say it. She said. I would like to court you, he said. Properly, slowly, in the way that 2 people who both know what they're doing get to know each other when they're not in any particular hurry. I would like to bring the ring back to you when the time is right, which is not today and may not be for a long time. And in the meantime, he stopped. What? She said. In the meantime, I am a working farm with no debt, and a full root cellar, and a neighbor whose fence I've been meaning to look at for 6 months because it needs attention. She looked at him. My fence needs attention, she said. Yes, he said. You've been watching my fence, she said. I've been watching your property the way a person watches the property next to them, he said. And the fence needs attention. She looked at the ring. She looked at Callum Ware. She thought about Owen, about the leaf, about growing things. She thought about 2 children, and a debt, and December. She thought about what it meant that this man had paid $18 for a ring he intended to give back, which was not the action of someone who was taking something. It was the action of someone who was keeping something safe until the right moment. Callum Ware, she said. Yes, he said. I've been a widow for 4 months, she said. I know, he said. I'm not in a place to think about anything other than the farm and the children and the equipment debt, she said. I know that, he said. You said slowly. She said. As slow as it needs to be, he said. There's no timeline. She looked at the ring on the table. Put it away, she said. I'll tell you when to take it back out. He picked up the ring. He put it in his coat pocket. The fence, she said. I can look at it this week if you're agreeable, he said. Tuesday, she said. Tuesday, he said. She drank her coffee. He drank his. The kitchen was quiet with the December outside and the gray sky pressing against the windows, and the particular stillness of a conversation that has said the important thing and is letting it settle. My children, she said. Yes, he said. Whatever this is, it goes at the pace they can manage too, she said. Not just mine. Yes, he said. Ben is 9, and he's been the man of the house for 4 months, she said. He's carrying too much. I know what that's like, he said. What? She said. I lost my father at 10, he said. I know what it looks like in a boy. She held her cup. Clara notices everything, she said. Like her mother, he said. She looked at him. You don't know me well enough to say that, she said. You came to my door on a Saturday morning and asked me directly why I bought your ring, he said. That's someone who notices things and acts on what they see. She looked at the window. I should get back, she said. The children are with Mrs. Aldrich. Yes, he said. She stood. She put on her coat. Callum, she said. Faye, he said. Thank you, she said, for keeping it safe. He held her gaze. That's what it was, he said. Keeping it safe. She went to the door. Tuesday, she said. Tuesday, he said. He came on Tuesday for the fence, and on the Thursday after for the barn roof section that needed looking at, and on the Saturday after that for nothing in particular except that Saturday had become the day he came. He was not in a hurry. She was not in a hurry. Ben watched him with the assessment of a boy who had decided he was the one in charge of deciding whether this was acceptable, which was the position Faye allowed him because it was the position he needed. By the third Saturday, Ben had stopped watching from the doorway and started working alongside him, and Callum answered Ben's questions with the same direct completeness he answered everyone's questions. Clara said nothing for 2 weeks. On the third week, she brought him a drawing she had made, which was of the farm in summer with all the correct details: the barn, the house, the fence line, the 2 cottonwood trees on the west side, and she gave it to him without explanation and went back inside. He held the drawing for a moment. He looked at it. He looked at Faye. She said nothing. He said nothing. He put the drawing in his coat pocket with the same care he had put the ring there. The equipment debt was paid in January. She had worked it out over 3 weeks with the account book and the winter income and a conversation with the equipment company's representative that she conducted in the flat, precise way she conducted business, and she paid the December payment and proposed a restructured schedule for the remainder, and the representative accepted it because the numbers were right. She told Callum on the Tuesday after, not because she needed to tell him, because he had been there for the 3 weeks while she worked it out, not managing it for her, not telling her what to do, just present in the way she had been learning was his particular quality, available and unhurried and genuinely interested in what she was figuring out. He said, The numbers were right all along. I know, she said. I just needed to show someone who would look at them properly. I'm glad you showed me, he said. She held her coffee. Callum, she said. Yes. The ring, she said. He held his cup. Yes. He said. It's still not time, she said. I want to say that clearly. It's January, and Owen has been gone 7 months, and it's still not time. I know, he said. But, she said. He held her gaze. But I want you to know that when the time comes, she said, I'm going to say yes. He was very still. Faye, he said, I'm not asking you to do anything about it today. She said, I'm asking you to know it so that you're not wondering. He held her gaze. I wasn't wondering, he said. How could you not be wondering? She said. Because of the way you came to my door in December, he said. A woman who comes to a stranger's door and asks directly why he bought her ring is someone who knows her own mind. I figured you'd tell me when you knew. She looked at the window. Owen used to say I was direct to a fault, she said. He was wrong about the fault, he said. She looked at him. He was wrong about a lot of things, she said, and right about everything that mattered. Yes, he said. I'm not looking for Owen, she said. I want to be clear about that. I know, he said. I'm looking for... She stopped. What? He said. She looked at the kitchen, at the accounts on the shelf, and the bread on the board, and the drawing she had pinned to the wall that Clara had made, the one with all the correct details. Someone who keeps things safe, she said, until the right moment. He held her gaze. I can do that, he said. You already have, she said. She went back to the accounts. He stayed at the table. Outside January went about its work, and the farm held its ground, and in Callum Ware's coat pocket there was a ring with a leaf on the inside that was waiting for the right moment, which was not today, and which was coming, which was enough.